welcome to Monday. Welcome to Student of the Gun Radio. Thanks for joining us. I appreciate it. I am your host, Professor Paul Markle, and welcome to Student of the Gun Radio. Welcome to the Glass Case of Emotion Studios. At least that's where I am. And we are broadcasting from Student of the Gun University in Biloxi, Mississippi, in case you missed that. If this is your first time listening, welcome. Understand that you need to be patient with us, and we'll be patient with you.
Okay. Patience is virtue.
Is that off?
Yeah.
It is? Okay, cool. What do I hear? I hear a boo. Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's just one of those things, guys.
I hear there's a buzzing in my ears.
There's a buzzing in your ears?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's this one over here.
Okay, cool. So what are we going to talk about this week? You took all the tags out of the show notes.
Yeah.
But
did you put those there?
Yeah, the tags in the show notes were correct.
Oh.
Okay,
well.
Yeah, the voice you hear on the other side of the microphone is Jared. Jared is the producer and the co-host and the boy wonder and all that good jazz. So
the co-host producer over here could definitely use a glass of water. If somebody important heard that would be great. He's over there sipping on his coffee, and I'm parched.
All right, kids. Well, what do you want to talk about? Do you want to talk about, I don't know, the fall of the empire? Hey, Jared, I want to talk about how your nose got busted. Why is your nose?
You should see the other
up?
5 people.
The other 5 people are messed up. Jared's been working out like a monster, inside and out. He's got them out running around outside of Student of the Gun University in the grass there, jumping on tires and lifting up kettlebells and crazy stuff.
Do you want to know the truth, what actually happened to my nose?
Tell me.
A Border Patrol agent beat me up. That's not even a lie.
Border Patrol agent punched you in the face?
Yeah.
Stop letting him do that.
Yeah, we had a dude in here. He's one of the normal trading people now, and he's part of the Border Patrol, so I can say that, and I didn't get arrested.
That's right. You got beat up by a Border Patrol agent.
I was locked in the cage with one. But, yeah, so I have a fight coming up on August 22nd in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. If any of you guys are close to there, I would love to see you come support me.
Now, Baton Rouge is a large city. Should they just park in downtown Baton Rouge and walk around looking for a fight, or is there a specific venue that they should actually go to?
The venue is going to be the Belle of Baton Rouge.
It's a casino?
I believe
it's
so.
It's a hotel casino.
Yeah, I've never been there before.
The Belle of Baton Rouge Hotel Casino.
If you want tickets, I'm just going to be frank with you. If you want tickets, contact me. I have tickets to sell. It'll be easier to get them from me than it would. It's actually cheaper because there's no ticket fees.
The Belle of Baton Rouge Casino and Hotel is situated downtown. This dockside riverboat casino and hotel on the Mississippi River is just a 4-minute walk from the River Center, Baton Rouge's fine arts area. Did you know there was a fine arts area in Baton Rouge? I bet you didn't, but now you know. The casual traditional rooms offer cable TV and free Wi-Fi. Fridges, not refrigerators, but fridges.
Ooh.
Be available on your request.
That's what it says.
Yeah, fridges be available on your request.
That's funny.
So
it
there
is
you
the
have
Fine
it.
Arts Division. So.
And it's actually, I think you can see the destroyer USS Kidd from the casino. I know exactly where this is, Jared. I think you can actually see it from the bridge. When you cross the Mississippi.
Oh, that's cool.
So
I've actually got a few scheduled. I've got one in Baton Rouge, one in Opelousas, which is an hour away from Baton Rouge.
Opelousas?
Opelousas, is that how you say it? Louisiana.
Wow. What's up?
Yeah, that's going to be a Sancho match. I don't know if any of you know what that is, but it's like Muay Thai with
Sancho?
judo throws. Yeah.
Oh.
And one in Atlanta. And so I know a lot of you guys are in Atlanta. I don't have a contract for that one yet, but that one will be exciting.
Well, there you have it. So come on down, kids, to Red Stick, Louisiana, and you can see Jared fight. How's that sound? It is Monday, and because it is Monday, that means it's our SWAT Fuel Warrior of the Week Day. Now, before Jared announces our Warrior of the Week and plays the music and all that stuff, remember, if you go to the SWAT Fuel store, make sure that you use the promo code SOTG2015, and you're going to save 10% off your total order. All right, Jared, go ahead and play our Warrior of the Week and the theme music and all that fun stuff.
Hey guys, it's Jared from Connecticut, and I have a real-life situation that happened that I think other people might be able to benefit from hearing your opinions on. I was at work in a bathroom, a single bathroom that exits to a hallway. As I was in there with the door locked, I heard a couple arguing outside, a man and woman. The argument started getting more and more heated, and then I heard the woman say the words, "Don't touch me." In that situation where I am obviously very close but behind a closed door, what would you recommend somebody do? To come out and intercede, come out and not visibly intercede, but otherwise just make their presence known, so on, not get involved at all? I was unclear about what would be the best course of action. But yeah, any advice you can give on situations like that, let me know. Thanks, bye.
All right, before I answer that, Jared, remind Jared from Connecticut what he has to do to get his free complimentary bottle of SWAT Fuel 9mm plus P.
Jared from Connecticut, I need you to email Alex from Mississippi, and she's ALEX@studentofthegun.com. Email her your name, your mailing address, your phone number, and include your email typed in the body.
There you go. All right, here's the deal with domestic violence. Caution, caution, caution. Approach with caution. Approach a domestic violence situation like you would a house fire. Because here's the deal, whether you're, especially if you're like a lone citizen type person, the moment that you interject yourself as a third-party stranger into the situation, you become a common enemy. And the boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, husband, whatever you're into, the moment that you spout off, hey, you think you're being the white knight. And I'm not saying you specifically, Jared, but the listening audience. We, sheepdogs and good guys and all that. We think that we're being helpful. You're not. You're like, what do you mean I'm not? No, I am. No, you're not. Here's the deal. Police officers have known this for a long time. That if there's a domestic violence situation, you always send at least a minimum of 2 cops. Because if one cop goes, when I learned this when I was just a young rookie guy riding and doing my ride-alongs and so forth with the chief, and is that a woman who's being beaten up by her husband, you show up as a cop, you put him in handcuffs, you're stuffing him into the car, and as you're stuffing him in, the woman that he was just slapping around jumps on your back because you're taking her man away. What? That makes no sense, Paul. That's retarded. That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Yeah, it's all that, and it also happens to be reality. The moment that you interject, you become the common enemy. Whatever they were just fighting about, they'll take a pause in their domestic violence to turn on you. Now, am I telling you to allow someone to abuse another person, to stab them, smack them, hit them, punch them, beat them up? No. Obviously not. But if it's only arguing, here's the deal. If it's, if it's your business and they're like not employees or whatever, if they're employees, deal with them. If they're not employees, tell them they're trespassing and they have to leave. If they don't leave, then call the police and let them deal with it. But interjecting yourself into a domestic violence situation that is not turned into an assault, and the whole, don't touch me thing, dudes, come on. How many times have you heard that where, like, the husband or whatever decides I'm going to console her, or we're going to move this along, and reaches out and grabs her by the arm or the hand, and she recoils away and says, "Don't touch me." Yeah. Oh, seriously though, based 100% on experience, having been there, unless it is an actual assault, like something's going on, crazy ex-boyfriend's trying to kill his crazy ex-girlfriend, whatever, unless there's like a real threat of someone being physically harmed, don't get in the middle of it, because you're going to be wrong. You think you're the hero. You think that she's going to thank you, and not going to happen. 99 times out of 100, she will turn on you faster than she turned on him. So like I said, I want you to approach a domestic violence situation like you approach a house fire, with extreme caution. How's that?
That was pretty good.
Does that work for you?
With like a house fire, that's pretty funny.
Yeah. It's like, should I go running in there? Not unless there's someone in there like screaming, "Help me, help me." I'm not going to run in there and just look around. Now, if you want to be the SWAT Fuel Warrior of the Week. You're like, ooh, Mr. Cotter, I want to be the Warrior of the Week. Cool. Call 682-207-7684. Leave a short, concise, clear question, and you too might be the SWAT Fuel Warrior of the Week. And of course, thank you to those guys at SWAT Fuel for making that happen. We couldn't do it without them. All right, moving on. Let's talk about the main topic, and this is a topic that will not be ignored. This is a topic that refuses to be ignored. Not that I would want to ignore it, but quite frankly, you know what we're falling into, Jared? We're falling into the eating our own thing again. We're falling into the gun culture, like turning on and consuming its own. I've seen on the social media the gun culture people posting pictures of these citizen soldiers or citizen security people and making all kinds of vile, rude, stupid statements about, oh my God. All right, here's the deal. Before I get into it, I'm going to go ahead and take a moment, pause, deep breath, and I'm going to thank my friends. I'm going to thank my friends at Frog Lube. Frog Lube, it just works. Check them out at froglube.com, and you can buy Frog Lube from Brownells too. Thank you to Century Arms, the sponsors not only of the radio show, but of the Student of the Gun mobile app for iPhones and Android phones and all that jazz. If you don't have the mobile app yet, you're wrong. Fix yourself, but you can do it really easy. You know how to do it. Go to your Google Play Store. Go to your iPhone, iTunes, iPlay, I do whatever the hell I want store, whatever you call it. I don't have an iPhone. I have an Android.
App Store.
You're at your App Store and download it. And you can do it for free because of Century Arms. And Duracoat. You got a crappy looking gun? You do. Life is way too short to have a crappy looking gun. And it doesn't cost you $200 or $300 to refinish that sucker. Go to Lauer Custom Weaponry, or Lauer Weaponry, LauerWeaponry.com, or you can go to Brownells and you can buy the Duracoat can technology. Can Duracoat colors. I think they make the can. Originally, they released like 9 colors, and then they said, the hell with it. We're going to do every Duracoat color we have, all the basic colors, which is like a ridiculous amount. You can do it in pink and orange and yellow and white and just go crazy. Duracoat, it just works. And you can do it for $30-$40. All right. Slut shaming the military. What? What in the world is slut shaming? Now, for those of you older guys like me that aren't like into the hip vernacular of the young hippie class, you're not a chick, like I'm not a chick, so thank you for noticing. You're like, what is slut shaming? When I saw that term,
you don't want us to like Paulina or something?
I don't know what the hell slut shaming is. I didn't know what it was. And I saw the title of this article, and it's from the WashingtonExaminer.com. And the title is Slut Shaming the Military. And at first I'm like, all right, I don't get it. So first here's what I thought it was. I thought it was a slut was shaming the military. That's what I thought it was. I thought it was like, slut, comma, or colon, shames military, but it's not. Okay, and this story is by Ash Show. I think it's Show or Show, SCHOW, Ash Show, and Ash is a woman, and she writes, in the wake of the massacre in Chattanooga, Tennessee, Defense Secretary Ash Carter approved a series of immediate force protection steps. Ooh, they're serious. Immediate force protection steps. And you're like, all right, well, what are these? Designed to protect our military service members. One of the steps is to ask recruiters not to wear their uniforms in public. I'm sorry, excuse me, what now? Okay, to continue. Regular readers will recognize this attempt to protect people by telling them not to wear not to wear as slut shaming or victim blaming. At least that's what it's called when the protection is meant for young women on college campuses. Okay, so here's what your old curmudgeonly host figured out, that slut shaming is the term when your local college campus puts out a memorandum telling the girls, you need to not dress like that because if you do, then you're just encouraging a rapist. Kind of sounds to me like exactly what the religion of peace and brotherhood says. Isn't that right, Jared? Isn't that exactly what the religion of peace and brotherhood says? That it's the woman's fault for being raped because she dressed in a provocative or sexy manner, and that she shouldn't have ought to done that?
Yep.
So
that is exactly what they say.
It is amazing to me that a college campus would come up with a plan that mirrors that of the Muslim missionaries, but I digress. So here's what we've got here. In addition to other stupidity, we have the military telling its recruiters, folks, I hate to like go back in a time machine with you, but way back when, before the current global war on terror, where we saw servicemen everywhere in uniform, in their utility uniforms. Back in the olden days, we were forbidden to wear our utility uniforms. That was the camouflage uniform, or what they called camis. We were forbidden to wear those off post, or when we were not engaged in work. You didn't wear them on liberty or leave or out into town. And there was very few exceptions where you could do that. Well, now we have the global war. So you didn't see guys, around military bases, or at least not around Marine Corps bases. You didn't see guys walking around in uniform off duty. And now you say, well, what about their dress uniforms? Well, the big exceptions to that is recruiters. Why do recruiters, Marine Corps recruiters especially, wear their dress blue uniforms? You know there are service uniforms that are green and khaki, right, Jared? And the dress blue uniform is a, quote, dress uniform, and it's for special occasions. You don't just wear it all the time. Well, why do we do that? Well, because we're trying to attract these young skulls full of mush to join our service. Thereby, that's the reason we wear it. So, what are we telling these guys? That they need to bring their uniforms to work on a hanger, in a garment bag, and when you get to the recruiting station, you can change into it, and then when you get off, you change out of it and put your civilian clothes on? Aren't they and they rightly point out here, she goes, if they're targeting recruiting offices, they know where you're going to be. Just because they didn't catch you in the grocery store or at the gas station after work. So what kind of advice is that? So we need to, our illustrious leaders, well, the Secretary of Defense is appointed by whom, Jared?
The president.
When we had a president, now we have a communist dictator. But regardless, the communist dictator that's currently occupying the White House appoints these people. So you have a defense secretary. Go ahead and look this turd ball up. Ash something or other. Ash Carter.
Yeah. Did you know that if you highlight something, you can right-click and hit search with whatever?
Oh, really? Is that
engine
true?
you're using. Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and wiki this guy. Okay, they're appointed by Comrade Barry. Oh, wow. So, hey, Ash. So let me get this right. Our service members are being targeted by Muslim missionaries. The director of Homeland Insecurity, J. Jonah Johnson, has told us that, we know these guys are in the country, and we can't keep them out. We just don't have any method in place where we could actually keep terrorists out of our country. I mean, that's crazy talk. So what we're going to do is we're going to tell our military people to keep a low profile and not wear their uniforms. And this one, I haven't even mentioned this. Jared, did you hear the draw the blinds security measure? Yeah, one of the members of the U.S. military brass. I don't have the exact quote in front of me. I heard it on the radio on the way to work, and then I saw it repeated multiple times. One of the things that they can do, one of the immediate security things that they can do at these recruiting offices, is to draw the blinds so people can't see inside.
Wow, that's a solution.
Yeah.
Did you know the blinds stop bullets?
That's a force protection step. I can't believe that we should, if I could pull up the total steps here that they have. Here we go. It's a news article from defense.gov. Maybe they need more plastic signs or larger signs or a greater frequency of signs so that the terrorists will know that it's really a bad thing to take a gun there and commit murder and terrorism. Is there somebody who looks a lot like me that mentioned the tendency of the weak-minded to take half measures? Have you ever heard of like half measures, or maybe this little thing called the illusion of security or security theater?
Somebody that I know has said that before.
Yes.
Half measures and stuff like that. I don't know who it was though. Can't remember.
It sounds like a wise person though. So yeah, there's your government. There's the Comrade Barry administration, and this turd works directly for the commissar. He works for the our dear leader. So don't wear your uniforms, draw the blinds, and keep a low profile. That's how we keep our service members safe from the terrorists that we've allowed to come into the United States and live here. And we know they're here. But don't worry, because J. Jonah Jameson is monitoring them. So there's that. I mean, you can feel some relief there because there's that. Okay, part two. Part two of this story, and this comes to us, the source from this one, the previous one was Washington Examiner. This one is stripes.com, and it's basically, that is the website for Stars and Stripes magazine or Stars and Stripes newspaper. All you old dogs know about Stars and Stripes. So, here we go. Army to recruiters, treat armed citizens as a security threat. What armed citizens? The armed citizens who have seen it as their duty to go and stand in front of these recruiting centers. Now, we reported last week that there were sheriff's deputies in Ohio and other places as well who have used their own time or have gone on their own time with their own money to recruiting stations and stood outside them. And the reason I didn't bring this up until now is, well, A, the story's relatively fresh, but B, none of these things, whether it's cops, whether it's armed citizens, whatever, none of the, security patrols. The Navy said that it's going to increase security patrols at its facilities. Really? You're going to increase security patrols from what, 1 a day to 2 a day, or and who's doing these security patrols? The lowest bidder civilian contractor security people? Folks, I don't even know. This whole thing has me all totally upside down face. But we've got here the Army, and I've seen copies. When the memorandum came out, a bunch of the recruiters took pictures of it with their phones and shared it, so it's all over the internet. You can see it very easily. Essentially, the Army is telling the recruiters that, quote, the Army is warned, and this is from the starsandstripes.com or starsandstripes.com. Washington, the Army has warned its recruiters to treat the gun-toting civilians gathering at centers across the country in the wake of the Chattanooga, Tennessee shooting as a security threat. Soldiers should avoid anyone standing outside the recruiting centers attempting to offer protection and to report them to local law enforcement and the command if they should feel threatened.
I have to play this.
Tiptoe through the window, by the window, that is where I'll be. Come tiptoe through the tulips with me.
You guys knew you wanted that. You did. So, yeah, that's so vag-tastic. So, yeah, that's the story today from your Army brass. And brothers and sisters, you're not surprised, are you?
Armed citizens, some associated with activist groups and militias, were standing vigil outside recruiting centers.
Activist groups? You mean people that actually give a rat's ass about the Constitution? You're an activist. I thought being an activist was a good thing. What, isn't being an activist a good thing according to the left-wing media? Blah, 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 blah. Wisconsin, Georgia, Tennessee, Idaho, and elsewhere saying that da-da-da-da-da. Here's the deal. Why are we having this conversation?
That's my question.
Why are we even... Hey, Army brass, you politicians, you puke faces, you cowards. Yeah, I'm calling you out, cowards. We issued a memorandum telling our people to draw the blinds and not wear their uniforms and to be alert so they can, like, call 911 real fast. What? And if they feel, are you kidding me? If they feel threatened by the armed citizens, to immediately contact local law enforcement and the command. What kind of a country are we living in where the United States military, first of all, and how many more have to die before the Army brass and the Department of Defense get their heads out of their rears? How many more? I don't know.
Care?
Do they even care? What did that Tommy say on Friday? This is the 21st recorded incident since 9/11 of military members in uniform being attacked deliberately in the United States of America. The 21st occurrence. What's it going to take? 22, 25, 30, 50? How many more have to die senselessly and needlessly so that the Army brass can cover their fat rear ends? So that the chair warmers up at the Department of Defense, brothers and sisters, this is not new. This has been going on. We talked about it with Grossman. I've experienced this for years. When I was in the Marine Corps, all right, one of the things that I did for the United States Marine Corps and for the Department of the Navy was I was part of a security forces detachment that protected nuclear weapons for the Navy, right? So you think that'd be, I had a secret clearance and you had to have a, security clearance. You had to do background checks. You think your CCW background check is severe? Go through a secret clearance, top secret clearance check. They don't just hand those out like candy. Anyway, and they don't just let anybody stand around nuclear weapons. I know you're like, what? Come on. I was by one yesterday. My point is this. I was intelligent enough, trustworthy enough, had the background check enough to guard the storage, movement, and so forth of a nuclear weapon. But when I was off duty, I was forbidden to carry a personally owned weapon on me because that's just too dangerous. You can't be trusted. I know. It was insulting to me 20 plus 30, not quite 30 years ago. I was insulted by that then. It's just as insulting today. It is insulting to our intelligence. It is insulting to every American for these chair-warming politicians to sit up there and say, you don't understand. You can't just allow soldiers to have guns and stuff. We need to do studies and have policies and because what? And then when citizens see the problem and go stand up in public and do something, these cowards issue a memorandum from the safety of their air-conditioned offices saying, you need to treat these people as a security threat. Hey, Jared, did you know that these citizen security guards with guns might be ISIS members in disguise and that they'll use this opportunity to attack our recruiters? Did you know that?
That is probably the dumbest thing that I've heard in the last hour, yes.
Well, I was told that the Army is you got to understand that the Army is exercising caution because these could be ISIS members disguised as local citizens.
Here's the deal, Army. If you did your job, the citizens wouldn't have to.
Exactly my point. Why are we even having this conversation? We shouldn't be having this conversation in a sane world. In a sane world, there would be no need for citizens to take their AR-15s and whatever and stand outside a recruiting center. Because your government can't seem to figure out a way 12, 13 years, 14 years into the global war on terror, we can't figure out a way to keep the rabid dog monsters out of our country. Is there any hope for this nation? I don't know. I don't know. No one ever raises their hand and says, hey, excuse me, Senator, Congressman, Comrade Barry spokesmouth. Isn't the real problem isn't American citizens with guns, and it's not even guns. Isn't the real problem the fact that you have no desire to keep these monsters out of our country? And when they do act out against our citizens and murder them, the first thing you do is run to a microphone and make excuses and fret over Islamophobia? You might as well just tell them, go for it. At least be honest. We know by your actions that you don't care. We know by your actions, Comrade Barry administration, that this doesn't really bother you. Based upon your actions, you're more worried about the monsters' feelings than you are about the dead soldiers and Marines and sailors and so forth. Oh, they'll go out in public and they'll wring their hands and they'll look down and act sad. You know, I'm really sad and I'm really upset that one of my Muslim brothers went out and one of these misunderstanders of Islam. No, they don't misunderstand it. They got the memo. Jared, has it been a year since all those puke faces went on their little jihad vacation and thumbed their noses at us via Skype from northern Iraq and Syria and said, our brothers, inshallah, Allah Akbar, whatever, Aloha Snackbar, we have brothers in America and they will be attacking?
I think that was about a year. I don't remember the timeline, but I'll look up real quick.
But, okay, the enemy looked at us and said, we have operatives in your country, and our operatives are going to attack you. We're going to attack the symbols of your nation. Police officers in New York, military members in Arkansas and Tennessee, all over the place. They told us, they're like, yeah, this is what we're going to do. And your administration, your own government's like, well, we don't know that really that they're going to do that for sure. I mean, sure, we can't. And they said, when we found all these guys were using their dual citizenship passports to go over and play their little jihad vacation, you know. And they asked the State Department, they're like, are you going to prevent these people from coming back in? And they're like, well, we just can't automatically stop them from coming back into the country. I mean, just because, you know, that would be hard. And
September 25th, 2014.
Okay.
Is the date of the
So
publishing.
almost a year ago. We were told, I mean, forget 9/11, forget the previous attacks, forget, you know, the USS Cole, the embassy bombings, Benghazi, forget all that stuff. Just the one thing where little Johnny Jihad and his buddies are all bragging about how they have bros in America and in Canada they're going to attack us.
We've got a bunch of new listeners. Do you want to play this audio again, or?
Sure, yeah, go ahead and play the audio of little Johnny Booger Eater saying how inshallah aloha snack bar.
Are you fighting right now?
Inshallah, we'll make some attacks in New York soon, bid'Allah ta'ala. A lot of brothers, they're mobilizing right now.
This is the opening.
أمتي قد لاح فجر فارقب النصر المبين.
This is on ViceNews.com. If you guys want to look up the actual video, I'll have Zach put it in the show notes. But this little puke face, he's got him on Skype.
Yeah,
they have the ability to Skype interview with people.
They're Skype an interview with these goat rapists.
All right, here we go.
Hi. So
Where are you right now, friend?
we're in New York, and you're in Mosul.
Yes, I am.
How long have you been in Mosul?
About a month.
A month.
I was in Anbar before.
How did you get? How do you guys get recruited to go to fight in Syria and Iraq?
No one recruited me. Actually, no one spoke a single word to me.
No.
All I did, I opened the newspaper, I read the Quran. Very easy.
And you went
And someone actually came to me 5 or 6 days before I left.
in Canada.
Yeah, and this is the truth. All of their intelligence workers are imbeciles. FBI.
So the Canadian police.
CSIS.
CSIS. So CSIS interviewed you about going to Syria, being a terrorist. You said, no, I'm not.
I can't believe how someone that has extremist terrorist ideologies was sitting in front of you and you didn't capture. The next time they saw me ripping up my passport.
This is a message to Canada and all the American Tawagheet. We are coming and we will destroy you, bidnillahi ta'ala. I made hijrah to this land for one reason alone. I left comfort for one reason alone. For Allah Azza wa Jal. And inshallah, after Shah.
Durka, Muhammad Jihad, I like the taste of my own boogers, all that stuff. Here's the deal. Okay, these booger eaters, as much as they are, they're serious. And your government just pretends like it's not even a problem. Like, well, we know, but what do you want us to do? I don't know. Put up more signs, maybe. Maybe you could print some more plastic signs, Department of Defense, U.S. Army. Maybe you could send out some more memorandums. Oh, Jared, I never thought about that. Maybe they need to generate more memorandums. How about letting your soldiers be armed? They're like, and here's a ridiculous thing. They're like, well, we're considering a plan where we may possibly allow our soldiers to be either carry or maybe conceal carry. No, we have guns. I've been in the armories. We have lots of them. Do you guys understand that the United States Army has tens, if not hundreds of thousands of M9 Beretta pistols? Like, the Beretta's a piece of crap. The Glock is better. Or the 19. Shut up. They have guns. And what are those guns doing? Well, what do you mean? What are they doing? They're resting very comfortably in the armory. They're cleaned and they're oiled and they're sitting in the armory, collecting dust. I got an idea. I got a crazy psycho idea. How about you break those guns out and issue them to the soldiers and Marines and have them carry them? It's too dangerous. Here's the deal, dude. You want to purge, you want to cull the military? If you got people in the Marine Corps and the Army, and I'm not going to speak for the Navy and the Air Force, they can speak for themselves, that are so unsafe that they can't be trusted to carry a loaded gun, get them out. Send them away. Send them to AmeriCorps. I don't care. Folks, the fact that we're having this discussion is ridiculous. Whew! It's crazy talk. You're making me crazy here. All right. Last thing we were going to do before, and I've got to address this very last subject, and it came to us from our former state of Ohio. But before we do that, here's what we're going to do. We're going to thank our friends at Brownells at brownells.com. And they've got specials going. Dude, I just got another ammo special today. Listen up, you freaks. Yeah, you. Do not write me letters. If you don't have the adequate amount of ammunition that you think you should have today, you're like, well, I'm going to eventually buy some. Winter is coming. Stuff is coming. Come September, come October, come November. And you're crying because you can't find your favorite flavor of ammo or the prices went up. I freaking told you, you better get online and you better start ordering it. You better stop off on your way home and pick up a couple of boxes of whatever. I'm not telling you to mortgage your house, but I'm telling you. Same goes with food, but that's a different story. All right, Velocity Triggers. If you got a black rifle, they have a trigger for you. Check those guys out at velocitytriggers.com. And last but certainly not least, Beretta holsters. You can get a Beretta holster from Crossbreed Holsters to put your Beretta in. You can get a Super Tuck or an outside the waistband or whatever you want to do. But if you're not carrying a gun, you're wrong. If you want to carry a gun, you might as well carry it in a good holster. So check out crossbreedholsters.com. All right, this story came to us from Ohio. I was aware of it, and one of my good friends in Ohio poked me with a stick and said, "Did you see this?" And I was like, "Bro, I saw it, and I wanted to throw up." But it's not necessarily surprising. Now, here's the deal. And everyone was waiting for this. It's just like the anti-gun puke faces. They're just waiting with bated breath for a murder, a killing, a spree, so that they can run out and grab a microphone and say, "See, we told you, you need to ban all guns." Well, the moment that the armed citizens started going to the recruiting centers, they were waiting. They're like, one of these guys is going to screw up, and we cannot wait for it to happen because it's going to be national news. Even though it might happen in Provo, Utah, or Bangor, Maine, or Pensacola, Florida, the moment it happens, we'll put it out on the wire, and it'll become national news. Well, it happened. The ColumbusDispatch.com the Dispatch.com is our source, and it's the Columbus newspaper. Lancaster, Ohio. The armed civilians who have been guarding a military recruitment center here are gone. Ordered off the property after one of them accidentally discharged his rifle on Thursday. This is obviously Thursday last. No one was injured. However, U.S. Properties Group, blah, 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 called the police and issued basically trespass warning. And the police are like, look, I dig what you're doing here, but you guys got to go. So what exactly happened? It says one of the armed civilians has been charged with a misdemeanor after he accidentally fired his AR-15 rifle. The round went into the ground. Fortunately, so at least he was following one of the safety rules. Was that
accident or negligence?
Yeah, exactly. Someone from the recruiting center, blah, 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 da-da-da-da-da. And here we go. It says, Christopher A. Reed, 28, of Lancaster, was charged with discharging a firearm within the city limits and has issued a summons to appear in Fairfield Municipal Court on Tuesday, according to a police report. Reed told police that, now, this is where the train goes off the tracks down into the ravine. Reed told police that he was holding his rifle outside the recruitment center when someone asked if he could take a look at it. Reed agreed, and while he was trying to clear the ammunition from the weapon, he accidentally fired one shot into the asphalt pavement. Only the pavement was damaged. The rifle was taken from Reed pending his appearance in court. Conviction of... now, dude... check this out. This is when my brain went, and I had to pick it up off the ground. Reed was convicted of the same offense in 2013 and was fined $50, according to court records.
What?
What? Dude, what? All right. No, you don't have to go to hell because you have an ND. But you do need to learn. I mean, learn from your mistake, bro. All right. Folks... oh, my head hurts so bad on this.
My question...
what is the gun there for? Mr. Reed, why are you carrying a gun in front of a recruitment center? Because?
Just to stop a threat, I assume.
Because you're there for security? Because you want to stop Johnny Jihad, the terrorist, from hurting the members of the military? Then why in the F would you be unloading it and playing show and tell?
And that's my question with the people that are doing this. Are they there for legitimate reasons, or are they there for attention?
Are you playing show and tell? Oh, he said, "Hey, man, that's a cool-looking rifle. Can I look at it?" Heck yeah, you can. Let me take all the ammo out of it first. What? What?
Have you seen some of the pictures of these people?
I know. I'm not going to get into that because we're not going to eat our own. But all right, This is the exact same kind of person that, you know, this is the same kind of person that doesn't go to training because why?
Because he knows how to pull
He already knows what he's doing, right?
Yeah.
This is the guy who wants to spend. He's like, hey man, you know where I can get a good deal on a Trigicon? There is no such thing, but everyone in the world is looking for a cheap Trigicon. Okay, they're not cheap for a reason. But anyway, I say, well, instead of spending $1,400 on an optic, why don't you take a training class? I know what I'm doing.
No, you don't.
Well, if you're unloading your security, the tool that you're supposedly using as a security implement here, you're going to unload your tool and hand it to someone to examine, you're wrong, like dick cancer. Quit. It's not a toy. Quit playing with it.
That's what she said.
Yeah, exactly. So, dudes, come on. We got to be better than this. We need to police our own. We do. We've got to be better than this. And I'm not talking about eating your own, but was there anybody else standing around when Johnny, Dumas decided to, I'm just going to unload this? No one said, like, whoa, hey, stop. Stop, dude. What are you doing? Oh, he wants to see my gun. Then go home and play show and tell somewhere else. When do most negligent discharges happen? Do they happen when you're in the process of fighting or training? Or do they happen when you're administratively handling the gun? The answer is when you're fiddling with it. The vast majority of negligent discharges happen not because someone is deliberately trying to engage a target. It happens when they're screwing around with it.
I have another question about, okay, so out of the people that, and I'm not trying to create a stink here or anything, but out of the people that are standing in front of these recruiting stations, how many of them have medical gear? They all have guns.
Yeah, I was wondering that too. It's like, how many of them have, like, well, why would you want that?
And I realized today...
I'm not an EMT. I don't need to carry medical gear.
I realized today that I'm on a couple different Facebook groups, and some of you are too, some of you listeners, and I realized today that I'm not doing a good enough job at getting the word out about this pocket lifesaver that we have. We developed that specifically...
Which is what we're going to talk about tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to give them a little...
Oh, yeah, a little teaser, yeah.
We developed that specifically so at times like this, you could have medical gear on you. And it's very... Dad put a lot of thought into the kit because there's so much stuff that you could put in it, but he really narrowed it down to what you need to have in order to basically preserve your life or the life of a loved one until the ambulance can get there with a box full of goodies. So...
Wow, it says there was a Marine Corps veteran with an M16 rifle sitting in a folding chair with an M16 rifle propped up against it.
That's nice.
That was pretty awesome. I don't know how that dude... He said he was a 68-year-old Marine Corps veteran. Maybe they let him take his rifle home with him. I don't know. Here's the deal, dudes. We got to be better than that. You want to go ahead and do good things for people? Rock on. But first of all, this story's going to get old eventually. The media hype is going to die down, and then what? People have to go to work. People have to live their lives. Sheriff's deputies have to live their lives. People. I mean, even if we were never going to have a negligent discharge, even if these people weren't standing around with black rifles with no sights or optics on them at all, what is that even? I've seen so many pictures of people with flat top rifles with no optics or sights. There was a dude standing there cradling a gun and had no sights on it. I mean, I don't know. Okay, whatever. But when it comes down to it, in a week or two, what is going to have changed? What will have changed? Nothing. Because why? Because as a nation, we are too damn weak. And we've allowed these ruling class douche nozzles to set the agenda for us and tell us what we can have and what we can't have, and the ruling class is afraid of its own dogs. They're afraid to even let their own soldiers have guns. And why is that? Ask yourself that while you're pondering. Now tomorrow we're going to talk about the Lafayette theater shooting. And we're going to talk about lessons learned. One of the big ones is the blood. For the left-wing anti-gun Nazi people, the blood doesn't even have to be dry on the pavement. They have the speeches written. The speeches are written and they're in their pockets. The tweets and the Facebook posts and the blogs are already written. They just wait for the blood to spill, then they hit send. So know that and understand that. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. We're going to talk about what you possibly could do to affect positive change from your area of the woods. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's the way to kick off the week. Think about it and go ahead and play me out, Johnny.
I don't know who Johnny is, but I'll do that.
All right. And remember, you're a student for life.